unfortunately, the reason it has been like about 2 months, which is a long time, because I'm supposed to make weekly videos, which I might not be able to keep to that because school has started, and after this video I might not be able to do another video for another while as well, because I have a project, a pretty big school project. And since I'm getting older, there's more schoolwork and more homework, so it's a bit harder to do the videos. So I'm going to hopefully try to keep maybe once every 2 weeks.
Or a month.
Yeah, but I think my goal would be once every 2 weeks, but I'll try to do more. But I don't want this video to be too long, so this video is about the spooky animals of Halloween. So if you've been around for a while, you'll remember I did do this sort of video last year, which did pretty well, and I really enjoyed making it. So I enjoyed it, and by the amount of views it got, I think that most of you all enjoyed it too. So I'm doing another one this year with, I think it was 5 or 6 spooky animals this year. And number 5, or the first one is the Halloween moon crab. So, Halloween moon crabs are often called jack-o'-lantern crabs because of the markings on their back, the orange yellow markings on their carapace, I believe is what it should be called, which is the carapace is the top shell. There's 2 shell segments. You've got the top segment and then the bottom segment. I'm not sure if it's called a carapace, but that's what it's called in a turtle. Not that they're very similar, but they can live 8 to 10 years, which is a fairly long lifespan for a crustacean. And unlike many other kinds of crabs, they actually spend most of their time on land. Lots of crabs live entirely underwater, but these ones, they need water, but they spend most of their time on land. They're especially adapted for land. And unlike other crabs as well, they aren't saltwater, but they aren't freshwater. They actually need both. They need saltwater and freshwater. They're from South and Central America, such as the Gulf of Mexico and California and down to Colombia. And their habitat would be mangroves, rainforests, coastal places, riverbanks, that sort of thing. So the next animal on the list is the Madagascar hissing cockroach.
Jamendo.com.
So Madagascar hissing cockroaches are one of my favorite animals in the whole world. I really like Madagascar hissing cockroaches, unlike many other people. Lots of people don't like cockroaches. I actually do like cockroaches. Cockroaches seem to have a very bad reputation. If you want me to do a video on cockroaches in the future and why they have a bad reputation, you can like the video to let me know. So if we get 10 likes, I'll do a special cockroach video about why they're so misunderstood. So the Madagascar hissing cockroach has a very hard, waxy and thick exoskeleton. An exoskeleton is something that many insects have. insects don't have bones or skeletons on the inside of their body. Instead, their skeletons are on the outside of their body. So it's like they have nothing on the inside, but their skeleton's actually on the top. And it's a really good armor. It helps to protect them. So we have our bones inside our body to protect us. Insects have their skeletons on the outside of their body to protect them. Madagascar hissing cockroaches, if you can't tell by the name, they hiss. They hiss very loudly, and their hissing can be heard from 12 feet away, which for an insect that's probably about the size of my hand or bigger is quite loud. And also, if you can't tell by their name, also they're from Madagascar. So the way they make this hissing noise is by forcing air out through these little breathing tubes on the side of their abdomen called spiracles. They're these little tubes and tunnels, very tiny, like you couldn't really see them, on the side of their abdomen, which is their third body segment. I'll put a picture here of the 3 segments of an insect. And on the abdomen, they have these little holes that they can breathe through, and they force air out through these tubes, and that's what creates the hissing noise. They make actually incredible pets. They're very good pets. If you ask animal experts, they'll say that they're great pets. And I personally would love Madagascar hissing cockroaches, but I don't know if my parents would like that. Yeah, camera woman Mammy is shaking her head. But they're very friendly. But if you want to learn more, if your parents say that you're allowed to have one, I definitely recommend them. Not that I've had them before, but they make great pets, especially for children and people who haven't owned a pet before, because they're very easy to take care of. For an insect, they have very long lives. They can live up to 5 years, which is quite long for an insect. Most insects don't live very long. Most don't really live much more than a year. Some of them only live a few weeks. And the mayfly lives 24 hours. And sometimes they don't even make the 24 hours because they get eaten. Or they just don't hatch from the egg. So it's a pretty long lifespan for an insect. And they're one of the biggest cockroaches in the world. The 3 main kinds of cockroaches, the Madagascar hissing cockroach, American cockroach, and the German cockroach. The Madagascar hissing cockroach being the biggest of the 3. And contrary to popular belief, they actually clean themselves a lot, like that of a cat. They clean their antennae and their legs and they clean themselves like a cat. If you have a cat, you'll notice them licking their paws and their parts of their body. And same with the Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Lots of people think that cockroaches are gross, dirty, filthy bugs. Well, they actually clean themselves all the time. So the next animal is the Komodo dragon. So the Komodo dragon, the biggest lizard in the world. They can get up to 3 meters long and weigh 70 kilograms, which is the biggest lizard in the world. This is a Komodo dragon, actually. And if you can't tell, they're from an island called Komodo. And unlike many other animals, Komodo dragons, and along with other few animals, they can actually reproduce asexually. This means that the females can have babies without a male, so they can reproduce on their own, which is very unique. And they're just like the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park, because if you remember, in the first Jurassic Park movie, we can remember that Alan Grant noticed that the dinosaurs were all female, but some of them were able to reproduce because they had some DNA from Komodo dragons and other animals. So really they're just like dinosaurs, except we don't know if actual dinosaurs could do this, but the ones in Jurassic Park did. But the ones in that movie aren't very accurate, like the velociraptors do not look like velociraptors in real life. So they're from Indonesia, and they actually are the national animal of the country of Indonesia. But it is thought that they may have originated from Australia. So they may have originally been from Australia, but somehow got transported to the Komodo Islands. Their tails are actually as long as their bodies. They have very long tails. And the babies live in trees. So once they hatch, the babies climb up into trees, since if they don't, they'll get eaten by the adult Komodo dragons, as they are cannibals and they fight each other all the time. So once they're big enough, they'll feed on insects in the trees, and then they'll move out of the trees onto the ground and start feeding on buffaloes and sometimes people. Yes, they do eat people. Komodo dragons are types of monitor lizards. In my opinion, the best kind of lizard. I love monitor lizards. My favorite is the Asian water monitor. They have 60 teeth, which is the most amount of teeth for any lizard in the world. They aren't the biggest reptile. The biggest reptile, I believe, is the saltwater crocodile, but they are the biggest lizard. Crocodiles aren't lizards. Crocodiles are crocodilians. Crocodiles are crocodiles, not alligators. If you want to know the differences, you can watch my alligators versus crocodiles video. The next animal is the spotted hyena. This is the spotted hyena, another pretty misunderstood animal. The spotted hyena is the largest species of hyena. The hyena is not related to cats or dogs. They're actually more closely related to mongoose, which are these. So there is quite a debate whether our hyenas in the feline family, which is cats, or the canine family, which is dogs. And they're actually neither of them. They're actually more related to mongoose, which are a bit like meerkats and are immune to snake venom. Hyenas are actually really good mothers, and sometimes when the pack is out hunting, one young female will stay at the den and, how would I put it? Take care of, like a daycare, but for hyena pups. I was trying to think of a word, but kind of a young juvenile female hyena will temporarily take care of the pups while the adults are hunting. And this is very smart because this can kind of train the young female how to take care of pups for when she's older. They are insanely smart. They are very smart, like really, really smart. And it is believed that they may be able to count, which is really crazy. And something that I like to tell people is that in real life, lions actually bully hyenas, unlike what happens in The Lion King, which I love the Lion King movie, but they got that bit wrong because actually lions often bully hyenas for food. They are from sub-Saharan Africa, which is sub-Saharan means kind of half Saharan, in the Sahara Desert. So they like to live in dry, kind of desert environments, like savannas and deserts. And now the final spookiest animal on the list is yet another misunderstood animal, corvids. Now, what I just said may not make a lot of sense to some people. Like, some people are going to think, what is a corvid? Well, a corvid is a group of birds that includes magpies, jays, crows, ravens, choughs, jackdaws, rooks, and many others. I think I said crows. So, this is corvids. I only done 4 corvids, my 4 favorites. Of course, I love magpies and jays and choughs, but I did these main ones. So, we've got the corvids. Ravens are one of the smartest birds in the world, and it's believed that they can solve puzzles just like a human toddler or child. Ravens hold funerals for other dead ravens, and they can actually feel emotions, not complex emotions like humans, but people do think that corvids may be able to experience types of feelings and emotions, just like orcas and dolphins. They can mimic sounds very well. They can even mimic human voices, like parrots. They can actually probably mimic voices better than parrots, because they're just so smart. They're one of my favorite birds, just because of their pure intelligence. It's not how they look. They're pretty plain looking, but I think they're just so smart, and that kind of makes me love them so much. A group of ravens is called an unkindness, and a group of crows is called a murder, and a group of rooks is called a parliament or a building, and a group of jackdaws is called a train. So they've got some pretty strange names for a group of them. Next is crows. Crows are capable of using tools as well as actually making tools. Crows can make tools and use them. They can use rocks to kill their prey. And they often drop snails. They pick up snails and then fly around and drop them on a rock or something to crack open the shell. This is done by many birds, but I think corvids do this the best. I have seen many corvids break into bird feeders. So if you know the hanging bird feeders that people hang from trees, well, they actually can swoop into them and knock them over to get all the food. And they often steal eggs from other birds too. Rooks are very sociable birds. They often nest with other corvids, such as the jackdaw. So that is my spooky animals video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, hopefully not too long. Goodbye.